this is where we volunteered every week for 6.5 years. And here we go. First time we've been here since Maverick passed. So the first time we walked in here with Maverick, it was no big deal, right? We walk in, his door opens, no big deal. So we're sitting here, I push the button to go to the 3rd floor. The doors close, and the floor moves, and Maverick freaked out. He didn't know about this box that went up. He was delighted to get out. But after that, and after he figured out that it wasn't going to kill him, he went with us every time. There's no more big deal. So, this is the long haul that we walked every week. And often we would work with patients in this hall. If they had to learn to walk, or if we had balls to throw or races to play, different things that we would do. They would set up obstacle courses out in the hallway. It was giving them another place where they could work and have a little bit more space. Maverick would come and we would walk this hall together every week for 6.5 years. And it's hard to walk it without him. It's very, very long and very, very empty. So, way too quiet. Way too quiet.
I am the clinical manager for the Our Children's House Grapevine and then the South Lake Children's Physical Medicine and Rehab Department. And my background is speech language pathology. So he can take commands from a computer generated voice. So for kids that don't have a voice, he will listen to them and follow the commands. He's been trained technically in search and rescue, but we call it hide and seek for the kids. And then he can play tag and do some of the other stability for kids that are learning to walk. That's why we do have a harness, so they can use him to pull to stand and then use to walk. So those were some of the main functions that we were looking for. And obviously the kid drops something, he will pick it up and bring it to a spot. On a side note, we found out he is very well versed in doing obstacle courses. And the kids will actually pull out and make elaborate obstacle courses for following directions, which helps them with therapy. And he has to go through and do all of the directions. So he's kind of like in obstacle courses. But that was a side benefit we didn't really know, but he does quite well with it. We have found that kids are more motivated for therapy. They're more engaged and have a better outcome overall. And we just see the light up. And then, not to mention, there is a high benefit for the staff. It definitely decreases stress. When they're stressed out, they come over and play or give them lovings, and he'll sit, especially this one, will sit on your lap at any time. So if you're feeling down, he'll just cuddle with you, make you feel better. So it's a win-win for both staff and patients.
Yes, a kid gets really bored whenever I work on step and throw for the baseball, step and throw. But if they can throw the ball to a therapy dog that chases it, they will do that until I pretty much have to cut them off or the dog's panting. And it makes a difference in motivation. It distracts them, for one, from what the key task is. And because a lot of times the tasks are really difficult that we ask them to do. And as adults, we can rationalize for why we need to do a therapeutic task. But for kids, it's hard, so they don't want to do it. But if you put a puppy in there, they're thinking about the dog or playing with the dog. Or I've seen our speech therapists use them to teach commands. And so they're working on verbal interaction with this dog instead of the boring task of talking to their therapist. If you add the puppy in the mix, and it just makes all the difference in the world.
Definitely saw a motivational factor with the kids. It's amazing how you can get a kid to do something if the dog will also do it. And just having that dog there for support, and guidance will allow the kid to push themselves a little bit more each time.
I remember as a student just thinking, well, one, I was always nervous because I was a student, so I felt like not only was he a great motivator for the kids, but he made me as a therapist be more playful because he was so fun. And so I always got, a huge smile on my face, so I feel like it helps with the morale of the therapist too, who oftentimes get really down because the job we do is very emotional.
Kids react very well to all of them. They love playing and cuddling with them especially. They love racing with them, playing catch with them. Even just having the dogs watch them do therapy, they feel better and get more done.
I would say one of the biggest benefits that I see is just how relaxing it is for the kids who are having to do things that they don't really want to do. Most of the time, unfortunately, physical therapy is making them do what they don't want to do. All of it, from the start to the finish. They don't want to walk, or they don't want to roll over. They definitely do not want their muscles stretched because it's not fun. And just having the dog even just put their paws up on the mat and have their head there as something to pet can make stretching go from something that they're crying and they're fighting and they're resisting to now they've got this dog and they're just petting, and it's just like what they would be doing maybe at home or at a friend's house, and I can stretch without them being frustrated or upset because they're totally distracted and enjoying just that time with the dog.
Is it fun?
You could say step and throw until you're blue in the face. But when they had the dog right there and they knew that the dog was going to chase the ball, then they would step and throw because it was tied to that activity of fetching with the dog, playing fetch. So they seem to get it.
So we've done a specific program for Atticus with commands. So if they hit the button, it will talk to them. So if we hit this one,
Down.
he goes down. And we'll have him.
Stay. Come.
So he's recognizing a computer-generated voice with no visual cues whatsoever for basic commands. So this allows kids with autism or kids that are nonverbal to communicate and interact with the dog by using their words.
Yes, I did. I loved Maverick. Maverick was one of my favorites. He was wonderful. He had great tricks. Jumping through hula hoops and, of course, fetching and playing dead and all kinds of fun stuff. He was great.
I recall one specific kid that came on Thursday afternoons that absolutely loved the therapy dog Maverick. We'd make obstacle courses with him, and we'd involve him in pretty much the entire therapy session, and he just adored it.
My very favorite story is with Maverick, and it was with a girl who was, I think she was about 11 or 12 at the time, and one of the big goals, she had previously been able to walk independently by herself, but due to the nature of her diagnosis, she had kind of lost that ability and was relying more and more on a walker, but she did not like to walk with the walker. Really frustrated her. Just, it was not good for her or for me because we just kind of battled back and forth, and Mom's big goal was for her to be able to use that to get around the house by herself without relying on parents to carry her or move her. And so I approached Rhonda and said, hey, this is a goal, and I know Maverick has all sorts of tricks, but I don't think he has ever tried to walk with a walking device, an assistive device. And Rhonda took that challenge on and, taught Maverick. At first we just even had Maverick just with the leash, like walk next to her or walk alongside the walker, and that helped some. But, Rhonda was great to teach Maverick, and Maverick did great learning how to push an actual walker so that she saw him walking with it, which she thought was hilarious. And so it made it less of a battle. It wasn't something, oh gosh, she's making me do this, but more, hey, it's funny, he's doing it, so I'll try it, maybe without throwing such a fuss about it.
No, they're family members, they are workers, they are peers, they are the lights to children's eyes. I mean, they are everything. They have a lot of weight on their shoulders, and this one had a lot of high expectations. So, but he's lived up to them. So we've been, like I said, he's my companion and everything, family, everything.